Greetings, friends. Welcome to week 44 of the Bible in 365. This week, we're going to finish the prophet Jeremiah. And as we read the final chapters of Jeremiah, we're going to find that the disaster that Jeremiah has been predicting is in fact going to take place. In chapter 39 of Jeremiah, Jerusalem falls after being besieged by the Babylonians. Now, Jeremiah was persecuted and imprisoned because people didn't like what he was prophesying about. They didn't like the message that he was delivering. And so he suffered for the message that he gave. But it turns out Jeremiah was right. And then he will suffer even for being right, because Jeremiah is not a prophet who comes from outside the people of Israel. He is one of them. And so when the exile and the destruction of Jerusalem happens, Jeremiah experiences it himself. And we'll read about that this week. And even as Jeremiah becomes this suffering prophet, we'll also see that Jeremiah never loses his hope, that he continues to sound the beat of restoration. He continues to remind the people that God is not giving up on God's promises and that restoration will come for the people of Israel. The book of Jeremiah segues well into what we'll read later on this week. We'll read the book of Lamentations. Lamentations is quite a unique book. We don't know who wrote it, but what we know is that it was written by someone who survived the siege of Jerusalem and remained in the city after the exile. So many of the royalty and the leadership and the wealthy people of Israel were deported from Jerusalem to Babylon. But the poorest people, well, they remained in the city. And the city of Jerusalem was in ruins. The wall had been knocked down, the temple was laid waste. And so the city didn't have any infrastructure, it didn't have any economy. For those who remained in Jerusalem after the exile, it was horrible. It was a depressed wasteland. And the book of Lamentations gives expression to the heartache and the pain and the suffering of the Israelites after the exile. The book of Lamentations consists of 5 lament poems, and each of those poems gives expression to heartache and grief. So they're kind of dark and heavy poems. And yet, as you'll read, you'll notice that right in the center of Lamentations, in the middle of the 3rd poem, there is this beautiful declaration of hope. In Lamentations 3, verses 22 to 24, it says, "Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They're new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore, I will wait for him." So right in the middle of Lamentations, we have this beautiful proclamation of God's faithfulness. And I hope that you hear in those words that they are the inspiration of one of the favorite hymns of the church. Great is thy faithfulness. Number 140 in our church hymnals is inspired by Lamentations 3. It is a beautiful hymn of praise that arises out of the darkness and despair of exile. And so it's a reminder to us that sometimes when we're in our darkest moments, God's faithfulness shines through the brightest. All right, I pray that God will bless you as you continue your readings this week, and I'll look forward to seeing you right back here next week for more of the Bible in 365.